I was just saying, Frank. Oh,
Oh, hi. Yes. Hi, Judith.
hi, Frank. I won't stay long. I'm at my sister's. We're having a barbecue, and I just didn't want to miss you, so just wanted to
Oh,
say hi. Yeah.
that's very nice. Thank you for coming as much as you can. Hi,
Mm.
Walter.
Hi, Frank. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Ron.
Whoa.
And hello, Rana, who I see has no microphone today, so she can't say hello back, except in chat. She says she can hear us and hi to everybody.
Okay.
Oh,
Hi, Rana.
and Cindy's just came in.
Cindy's arriving now.
I sent her an email to tell her that I wasn't sure that I would be able to join you.
Oh,
So I'll wait till she.
Hi, Judith. I was
Hi,
trying to
Cindy.
get back and I'm like, okay, click, 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 click. And it wasn't doing it.
you made it. Hi, Cindy.
I did. Hi, Frank. How's everybody doing?
Great. I was
Good,
telling
good.
Walter we have such a nice
Hey.
weather for a barbecue.
Perfect, perfect. That's nice.
Yeah,
It looks sunny and warm.
And it just
It
started
is.
raining here in Long Island.
Oh, no. Well, it's
And
cloudy here, but it's
we need
70.
the water anyways.
That's
Yes.
good. That's good.
That's right.
Well, it's pretty cool here in San Francisco.
Well,
70 degrees.
you're wearing a
70.
sweater,
I guess
so
that's
it
not
must
really
be must be cool.
Well, it's cool inside. I don't know. And our air conditioner isn't on.
Huh.
I don't know. It's just completely, it's 70 outside. I thought it was colder than that because it's cool inside.
Yeah.
But I don't
Wow.
know. Temperature is
Well,
always a
it's fine.
mystery to me.
It's 81 and humid here. So.
Hmm. How are you doing, Ron?
Fine.
Are you so happy to be done with the play?
You know, I've been so productive this week.
I might have to call you though at one point.
Okay, that's
I'm
fine.
trying to patch a dimmer pack that is running.
What are you doing, Jerry?
Now there's a lighting emergency at the theater, so Perrin is going to take care of that and says he might have to call me. So maybe it's not as done with me as I am with it.
Dang.
Well, it's just one more thing going wrong, Ron.
I
That's the
know.
problem.
This is someone else's show now. But I think I'm the only person affiliated with the theater who knows how to run that light board, how to actually like program the light board. Are you celebrating anything, Judith, or are you just having a barbecue?
We're celebrating birthdays,
Ah, good.
a few birthdays, yeah. But anything's good. Anything's a good pretext
Yeah.
to celebrate. We didn't see much of each other during the past few years because we were careful.
Yeah.
So now it's nice to get together. And my sister at her place, she has a pool, so it's perfect.
Great.
Very fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's always
So
nice to be with family.
yes, yes. So I'll say my goodbyes now.
Okay.
Bye,
And I
Judith.
hope to see you next week. It's nice to see you. I'm gonna
Nice
miss
to see you,
time.
Judith.
Yes. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Next time.
Have fun
Thank
at your
you.
barbecue.
Yep.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I know Kathy was not going to come today. She's in someplace where they have hot springs. She was going with her husband for 2 days to kind of have a mini vacation.
Oh, nice.
So they were going to be gone. It did sound
8
like fun.
nights.
So, but I can't remember the name of it. It was something Springs, it was a hot springs and it was something Springs, but I don't remember the name. I'm very good at that. It was 4 hours away, but I can't remember where it was. geography. I did really bad in geography. I'm good at history, bad at geography.
You are good at history. You did a great paper. I
Oh,
loved it.
thank you. Thank you.
You know
ha-
what
when
happens, not where.
when I got into it, I just really, it's exciting to me what people did and the decisions they made and why they chose to do what they did or didn't do. And that given different parameters, people chose different things. And then how the impact was over it. It was just, I thought it was cool.
Very good.
Oh, I don't
What
know.
are you wearing, Ron?
A V-neck t-shirt, a Hatton style shirt,
Oh, all right.
a pair of
You
black
normally don't wear
pants,
something over your shirt.
a watch,
Yeah. And
Glasses,
glasses.
and the beard is back.
Yeah.
a beard. No
They
shoes
grew-
at the moment. They're over there.
It's growing very quickly.
It's already been trimmed twice,
Wow.
like an
Oh my
inch off,
goodness.
like shearing myself.
Mm.
Oi. I have been very, very productive this week, surprising even myself.
Wow.
Productive at what?
Oh my gosh, I've forgotten.
Well, I'm glad you
Uh,
were productive.
Yes, I was preparing the little hot fudge sweater for publication. I'm back on that, so I got my little.
Oh,
prototype
nice.
out
I
in
think that is
background.
just so cute.
Oh, yes.
It is.
So, I've got that pattern all written and the charts all made and the illustrations. And so now I'm formatting and then I guess I'll edit it at some point when I can look at the numbers with fresh eyes. You know, there's a lot of graphics to make, a lot of,
Mhm.
I mean, in addition to the charts and things, I always do probably more graphic design than is necessary, but I enjoy it.
Well, I think it adds to the invitiveness of your designs that people look it up and it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. I can do this.
Yeah,
Sometimes you pick up a full thing of text or something,
yeah.
particularly if you're more of a beginner or something, and it's like, I don't know how to do this.
That's
I found
why
it
I like-
intimidating.
well, you remember with the wisteria pattern, I like to sort
Right.
of, it is very much written in my voice. I want,
Mhm. And it is. It's
particularly
very
with the shop,
friendly.
I want people to feel like I'm sitting there with them talking through the tricky bits.
And it is kind of like, it's like, you can do this, you know, it's okay.
Speaking of tricky bits, Frank, I have noticed a question that I've gotten more than once recently.
Oh, yeah.
Someone just asked me the other day, not necessarily about your patterns in particular, but another pattern that it could be a point of confusion for beginning knitters or even early intermediate knitters who ask me what they're supposed to do when instructions say to do something 0 times, which seems self-explanatory, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. Do it 0 times.
That's right. And
But
notice
just-
that there are other sizes you do it more than
Do it more than
times.
0 times.
I try to
Um,
make mine, sometimes it doesn't quite come out this way, but I try to make mine not say that, but rather say 4 sizes, this, and this, and then I just put dashes on the sizes that are not applicable rather than 0.
Oh, the dashes in the pattern that I'm writing now, trying to find a way that for my pattern that they made visuals that they weren't a nightmare to look at. Like,
Oh.
oh God, I can't read this. It was just like overwhelming to me. I don't know. Would you guys like to see the formatting?
Yes, but first let's greet Jenny, who
Sure.
came in
Hi,
while you were
Jenny.
chatting.
How are you
Hi,
doing?
Jenny.
Jenny.
Are you better?
Yes, I am better. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
good.
Yeah. Yes,
And
yes.
is hubby better?
He's on the mend, but he was very poorly
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah. Mm,
But I'm
goodness.
down visiting my parents this weekend, so I'm in a
Oh,
different
very
house.
good. Very good. Very good. Well, nice, nice.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
Yes.
Okay, Ron, let's see the pattern.
So have I remembered how to share my screen? Where do you do that?
I have no idea. I've never done it. So
Share screen is in the middle at
Oh,
the
it's right in
bottom.
middle.
It's
And it's
it-
green.
It's an icon at the bottom. There you
oh,
go.
it is.
Can you see
Cool.
that?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can see my schematic and my little graphics. See, I basically repurposed the. Is my cursor showing
Mhm.
Yeah.
the diagram that I made for the wisteria tunic, but I
Mhm.
made it, branded for themes for this. I'm still working on all of the formatting here, but you
Oh, I
can
like the little candy, or not candy, but the ice cream stuff
Ice
at the
cream
bottom.
to fill out the space and to get
Yeah,
these away.
it's cute. It's
But
cute.
see, all of this, because there was just such a big block of it in such a small space, my find and replace tool was seeing a lot of word. Like, should I put spaces between these dashes and the commas? Should I not? Which is easier on the eyes. And this is where I've landed.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of small, but I think I can see you have some dashes and some zeros. Is that right?
Because this is for size 6 is included in these instructions.
Oh, I see.
But you do it 0 times for size 6.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, I think that's intelligible to me.
yeah.
I could figure out what that meant.
Yeah. So this is my favorite illustration.
Oh, that's a very
Oh,
good.
that's
That
nice.
does look like a hot fudge sundae.
And all my charts
Oh,
and
cute.
links to Frank's videos here in the back.
Oh, I like small drips, medium drips, large drips. How
Wow.
cute.
Yes, because when you're designing something that comes in multiple sizes, there's a big difference between a 2T and a child's 10.
Oh, I know. I've got
Yeah.
grandkids that are that size, and it
Yeah.
is, and it's like that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, if the charts stay the same size, on a 10, they would just be a little tiny band. So they had to get
But
longer.
the thing that you named them small drips, medium drips, large drips, it is again inviting and
Oh,
fun and
there's a
understandable.
typo. I need to fix that. Okay. Well, I just thought I would share
Very nice.
my
Great. And
Phrancko
where is that available? You might as well say.
This will be published in the Twisted Skeins Ravelry store.
Okay.
Soonish, once the formatting and the editing ends. But I'll share it, or I'm sure I'll make an announcement here sometimes. That's where it will be, in the Twisted Skeins Ravelry store. That's where you can find the first Phrancko child's pattern I did, the Wisteria Woods tunic, which
With a
Sydney
picture of
did.
my granddaughter.
Yes, with a picture of her granddaughter. So I'm back to normal. So that's what I've been doing for days and days and days.
That's very going to be fun. It's interesting to see how designs take shape, that they have an idea and then kind of get worked out, and then at the end how it comes out. It's very, that's cool.
Remember it started. Oh, thank you, Rana. She says the diagrams are great for a visual learner, but I try to add it. But yeah, you remember back when I started working on this, maybe it was the end of last year, the beginning of this year, it just started with a drawing. It was just a sketch of, I want to make something like this with drippies on it.
Well,
And
wasn't it for your your class, your design class or design certification?
It was
Or-
while I was drawing sketches
Stuff
for
for that,
those
yeah.
assignments
Yeah,
that like
that you came up with it.
inspiration struck and I just started making sketches of other things just to get it down on paper so I can go back to it at some point. Oh, I remember I had this idea for this thing, but you know, this had to sit on ice for ice cream for months.
It took a while to churn the ice cream.
It did. In this heat.
Mm.
Mhm. A lot of ice and salt.
But it got there. So then I've got the rolled up sleeve ones to do, and I'm glad to be busy again. I'm busy at this again. It's a nice. I guess I had a nice break while I worked on theater things, and now all of the backlog of yarn shop things don't seem so overwhelming. I'm just ready to start chipping away and getting tasks completed.
Sumner's here.
Phrancko's.
Hi.
Oh, hi,
How you
Sumner.
doing?
Nice
Why
to-
do I
Hello.
work for a living?
You do work for a living?
Yeah, why do I work for a living?
I don't know.
know.
I don't
Don't they know I
know.
have other things to do?
That's exactly it. We have more important things to do.
Absolutely.
Well, I made quite a bit of progress this week on my shawl collared sweater.
Oh, yay.
Nice.
And normally I don't do the collar until after I've completed the whole body of the sweater, but because the collar is experimental to me, I wanted to do it early. So here's where we are.
Oh, how
I
nice.
love that
Oh, yes.
design and the color, Frank. That
Wow.
is
Look
beautiful.
at that.
That's lovely.
That
I love
is.
the
I'm
really,
chevron.
really
very happy with
nice.
how the collar
Really,
turned
really
out.
nice.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be
Yes.
too long, but it's not. It's
Mm-mm,
really,
Very, very classic and beautiful. I love it.
yeah, I love it too. It's great. And
Very nice.
I don't know if you can see the herringbone pattern, but
I
it's
looked
turning
that
out.
up after you were talking about it last week.
Yeah. Wow.
It was
Look
in,
at
I
that.
think, one of Barbara Walker's books, you had said.
Yes,
the
and
herringbone
I
pattern, yeah.
modified it a little bit. I had to not do lifted increases, but instead do make ones.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that had
Since
to
you're
do
doing
with-
it
Yeah.
in the round.
in the
instead of
round, I
back
had
and
to
forth.
be able to know how to start each row, and
Mhm.
it got confusing.
Well, but you're the person that figures it out. The rest of us
Yeah.
just follow along what you
That's
decide.
right. Well, that's the role I play sometimes, I guess.
And then call you and say, Frank, what did you mean?
Right.
Right?
So I'm quite pleased with that.
Very nice.
Rhonda, how are you doing?
Excuse me.
I was asking Rana how she was doing. We haven't. Okay. She's chatting. Wow, love the softness of the shawl collar. Okay.
Oh, Cindy, I was going to make an Argyle sock.
Oh, please just send it to me.
I went. So I went on to the TKGA and got the sock pattern. And then I just moved a couple months ago. I have no idea where all my bobbins are. Not that I liked them anyway, and they were kind of past like hand-me-downs. So I bought a bunch of new bobbins
Oh, wow, how fun.
because you need like 10 of them. You know, you
I
need a ton
know.
of-
No, you're
they're
really
kind of a-
scaring me.
They're kind of but if you're making socks, it's nice because all your bobbins are wrapped. You don't need to do anything else. You're going to get to the end. You're not going to have to redo the bobbins, right?
Okay.
So you just get to the end, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Well,
You might
good.
want
I'm
to
glad
try
someone
not
is-
using bobbins. I did that complicated pattern with for the Black Lives Matter sweater. And I found the bobbins, because there were so many, they would get tangled around each other and it slowed me way down. But when I found that I could just use no bobbins, just the straight yarn in segments as long as 6 feet long sometimes, every time you need a thread, you just pull it and it pulls right out of the clump of tangled threads. And,
The clump of tangled thread.
and they always pull out. I mean, it was kind of amazing. And then you work across this section. And
So I found with my bobbins, because when you're on straight needles, not on circulars, the bobbins really, I don't find that they tangle.
oh, they hung down
Because
straight.
they're straight.
See, I wasn't using straight needles, so maybe
Right.
that's the difference.
Right.
On circs, I would probably use butterflies.
Yeah, well, and I know
Right.
how to do butterflies. I used to, well, I spin and I used to weave. And so we do that all the time for some of the
Yeah,
weaving.
so, but where you're gonna do the classic Argyle, you gotta do it on straights.
Mhm.
Um,
So,
What?
and then I let
Why?
them rest on the table
Oh,
so that they don't hang and pull, because you really want to knit as loosely as possible, Cindy.
as
Like-
loosely as possible.
As
Now you're really
loosely-
making me so nervous.
As loosely as possible. And then as you're going back and forth, you'll find it, you'll be like, oh, wow, that really worked.
This feeling I'm going to be knitting several socks in varying sizes to try to get stuff that works. Since I
Yeah, you
haven't
almost
done
can't knit it
Argyle
too
before.
loosely. So just keep that in mind. You almost can't.
But
knit it too
see, it's not just knit it. It's not just how it is. It has to match the gauge of the pattern that you use, and you have to use a pattern. And
Yep.
So
It will. You're
well, at
knitting.
least give it a
Doing-
try without bobbins or butterflies and compare
Okay.
for yourself.
Well-
I am absolutely convinced that the best way is to not use them. So I convinced myself by trying it,
by
different
trying and
ways,
doing it.
which is what I
Well-
usually do. I try things like the shawl collar. I tried it several different ways and finally came up with
Yeah.
this one, and it's
Before a lot of the classes with Suzanne, I used to really be nervous about even joining yarns and weaving in ends. And then
Oh.
after doing all that, it's kind of like, okay, this is nothing. I can weave in ends just fine
yes.
and join yarns. That's not a problem. So, and even when I was knitting that the day tripper that I was doing, the kind of Fair Isle stuff, it's like just splice it in and it was fine.
Uh-huh.
And you can't tell where it is at all. I mean, I do good spit splices. I mean, from spinning, we used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
You feel that way about steeking? I still have not steeked my sweater, Rana. I have it, but I haven't steeked it. I'm so afraid.
Mail it over. I'll do it for you.
Okay, I will. I very well will.
I can speak without fear. You know, really, you would be shocked at the amount of different things across the spectrum of ability levels that give people anxiety when it comes to these crafts. I mean, you meet people who do really, really complicated work, and then you hear something about like just like I get really nervous about like doing yarn overs, that they'll be the wrong size, things like this. Like it never fails to surprise me when I hear something, because you never
Yeah.
know where does the
When you don't
anxiety
know what it
come,
is
like,
that they're going to do.
at what point in your development did you try that for the first time? But
Or even did you not try it, that you just thought it was hard?
yeah,
Because that's really kind of mine with steeking. It's like I did it once on a piece about maybe 2.5 inches long. That's all I've ever done it. And I could hold my breath that long, but I don't think I can that long
for
for
a
the
whole
sweater.
sweater.
But if you're doing like regular wool, like
Yes,
not,
it is regular wool.
superwash?
It's slopey.
it's
slopey.
sticky enough. Oh, it's loapy?
It is quite sticky.
Yeah, I mean, loapy, you could almost stick shapes in, right? There's nothing gonna happen because it's so sticky, right?
You guys are giving me a heart attack here today. Do not even suggest that.
Loapy is very sticky. Nothing's falling out of loapy.
I don't really think it will fall out with this because it does stick and hold really nicely. And one of the colors that just had just a very few little pickups, I didn't like the color that it was. And so I cut it out and just picked up with a different color, and that worked totally fine. It stayed right where it was supposed to be. Hi, Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Hi,
Hi,
Denise.
guys.
Right, Denise?
Cindy, don't you actually sew down the stick so that it doesn't like lose the stitches? I
Well,
thought I saw that on Suzanne.
there is several different ways, and I have not. The one that I did, you actually did kind of sew it by hand with yarn, but like I said, it was about 2.5 inches long. It was a little tiny sample. But I know some people sew it by machine.
Mhm.
Some people sew it. Some
I use
people just
crochet.
cut it. Some
Yeah.
people do a little crochet thing around it.
Yeah, chain stitch up the
Yeah.
column of stitches.
So I think I need to just do some little pieces and practice before I cut the big one, since it's
I
a
have
whole
never
bloody
even-
sweater.
Wow. I've never even practiced. I've just looked at it and thought, no, I'm so scared. No.
Well, no, I
Just-
love the sweater. I really like the sweater, and I want it. I'll get it. I'll probably goof my yarn up here now if I'm moving.
First time I put a zipper in a sweater, I was like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I'm over my head. And then I just put it on my sewing machine and I'm like, okay, it's done. Why was I worried? You know,
Yeah,
it
well,
was
no,
like, it was
and
so
even
simple.
once it's cut, I mean, like sewing in a zipper, to me, I think I would just probably do it by hand. I do other sewing and stuff by
Oh,
hand.
put
and
out the
that's not a
machine.
problem.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's the sweater, Denise.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, cut it. Get out the scissors. We'll all watch.
No, I
Yeah.
haven't. And here's the bottom. Here's the bottom, and then it's got
Oh,
it
that's
on the
gorgeous.
sleeves too. So
Okay, hold
It's
it
really
up.
pretty.
Hold up
It's
the front again.
gorgeous.
I
Hold up the
didn't have
front
you
again, okay.
spotlighted when you were holding
okay,
it up.
here's the
There you
front, and
go.
you can see kind of where the
The
where
line
middle,
is,
Making
yeah.
where the
stitches
middle
are,
stick
yeah.
is, where
Yeah.
the line is, and then I've got that funny little green thing. I've got just a sewing thread down the center, so I could see where the center
Oh.
was, where I needed to, where I would
Okay.
where I would need to cut if I got really brave.
That's
But
funny.
I like it. It's
And are you picking up the stick stitches and putting a band on?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're good.
So yeah, so
You
it
just
should
gotta
be.
get the scissors out.
Oh,
I know. I was nuts when I put in my first zipper. Oh, it stressed me out so bad. I
So
get
maybe-
it.
So maybe you should make a baby sweater, Cindy, and then stick it and see if it works.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
good idea.
I think rather than just doing a baby sweater, I think what I need to do is just do a few little swatches,
Swatches.
or even take some. I've got a swatch of. I did a big. I don't know. It's like 4x6 or 6x7 or
Mhm.
something that I did of that yarn to get the gauge, and I should just cut
Yeah.
it and,
Yeah.
muck with it and
Yeah,
practice.
just cut it. You'll see. Nothing
Yeah.
happens
And then
to
I
it.
can see how I can do it, and I can practice picking up what I need to do, and I think then I won't be so. Hopefully, then I won't be so anxious if I see I can do it.
But and cutting the stick is nice because you're just going up the ladder.
Right, you just go up
You're
straight,
not-
and I
Like
can
you
do
can't
that. No,
mess it
no.
up either way.
Right,
so-
no, that it's not that. It's that I cut it and the whole thing is gonna like disintegrate and fall apart, and there's all the
Yeah, not gonna
sweater in a
happen.
No, it
pile,
doesn't do
in a
that.
tangled pile.
Just do a little like therapeutic role play and pretend to be your own evil twin.
My evil
I'm gonna
twin is
cut her
pretty
sweater.
bad. My evil twin is pretty bad. Ron. You don't want to see her.
Okay. Your own slightly mischievous twin.
Okay,
Yeah.
that one might be okay.
Rana texts, now you have to do it, Cindy, because we are all waiting.
Yes,
Yes.
right.
We want to see it next week.
Oh,
That's
okay,
funny.
okay, all right. It to I will
Yay.
cut it. And at least do the pickup. I won't say that I'll have the bands done because I still have to practice more buttonholes, but I can do the pickup by next week and I will show it. And if it's a little pile of just yarn ends, I will be crying, but and it'll be your fault.
We'll all just blame Ron.
It was Rana said that I had to do it, and then she said to remember this is recorded. So okay, I
Yeah.
won't wear any eye makeup so that if I cry next week, I won't have mascara. Not that I wear any eye makeup ever, but anyway.
That's funny.
But I have 7 of my level 2 swatches done, and I'm working on the short rows. So that's good.
Yes.
Your writing was amazing. It was brilliant, Cindy.
Oh,
I learned
thank you,
so
Denise.
much. I learned so much. I actually went back and reread it. I was astounded at what I learned about the history of it. And
It was just,
Very
it was
well
really
written.
fun with me. And I loved going to the different museums around. And there was a couple of different museums that I went to also that I didn't include because I didn't put stuff in from them in the report. But it was like, there's things all around the world that you can look at online and see things from their collection that, you know, I would never get to travel there to see it. And a
And-
lot of times the things that are in the collections, if they're not on display right then, they're actually in storage or something. So you, even if you went to the museum, you wouldn't be able to see it. But because it's online, you could. And this was like, it was so cool.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it.
And I had never heard of nail binding.
Oh, yes. I last October, our shop did a Society for Creative Anachronism event where we sold yarn and fiber supplies and looms and spinning wheel things. And our biggest thing were knoll bending needles. People would come and get them. We had ones made of bone and ones made of horn, and these medieval reenactors would just like swarmed us. I heard you have knoll bending needles.
Oh,
Those people are crazy for it.
Wow.
and it's so much like knitting. It looks like knitting.
It looks like knitting, but if you watch them do it and you see how it is, it's not, it's more like sewing, that you do some loops and then you sew it through so that it does not unravel any at all. It was actually a very good choice decision on whoever's part that was making socks and things out of the nail bending so that they wouldn't unravel. They might get a hole, but it wouldn't unravel any at all. Where if you get the thing in the knitting, it will unravel. That's why I'm worried about steeking. But anyway, but it will unravel. And but the nail bending, it doesn't at all. Because it really is a bunch of loops that are knotted together.
The reason steeking works is that the unraveling occurs vertically and it does not occur horizontally, if that makes any sense. You're
It
cutting,
does make sense.
you're cutting the
It does.
horizontal threads and they don't pull out.
Okay.
They are looped in and
Yeah, and they really, I mean, when you think about it, they are looped in because they're going, you know, up and down like the
That's
funny
right.
little ribbon candy is what I think of.
Yeah, so
So
they're
they
not,
are,
you
they're
can even
looped
pull them,
in.
they're not gonna unravel
Yeah.
because they're locked in vertically.
Okay, I'm trusting you. It better be a justified trust.
I'm sure it will be.
That's funny.
If I'm crying and my hair is all pulled out, it's your fault.
which method do you think you'll use, Cindy, to secure the threads?
Well, I think I'm gonna try to do the little one with that Suzanne demonstrated one where it was just like kind of sewing it through. And she
Okay.
did one where she did like with a crochet hook. And I think I'm gonna try those and maybe even do one side and one side and the other on my little sample.
Yeah.
And then see how it is. I don't want it to pucker or pull or any of that sort of stuff, because I think that would be something that's going to be a little tricky for me too. I do need to block the sweater first. I think I want to block the sweater before I do it.
When you use
What kind of stitch does she use when you sew it? Just in and
It's
out?
kind of
and-
like, no, it's kind of like a little back stitch. You go
I see.
over and then go
Yes.
back and then
I
go
see.
forward one and
Yeah.
then go back. So it is, it's like what I would think of in embroidery as just a back stitch that you're going back one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I thought it was backstitch when I saw that too. But I
Yeah.
thought the crochet one looked good. The little chain up the.
I think the crochet one looks really fantastic. I don't know how to crochet. And so that's another new thing to learn.
don't you use the provisional crochet cast on?
I do, but I do that in a total weird way, Ron. I do use a little crochet hook, but I do it with a separate little wooden knitting needle, and I hold it there and I do them so that I do all my little separate little provisional cast on pieces. And then when it's time to use them on the underarm, I just knit them off of my little
Oh, yeah.
short DPN, so that I'm not trying to hold a bunch of stuff or anything. And it's
What
and
I
frequently it takes me multiple tries to get like 6 underarm stitches.
practice chaining. I like, well, yoink. I used the crochet one on this cardigan,
Mhm.
and what I like about it is as you work, can you see that well enough?
Yes,
I don't know.
I can see it.
had to move my light because I've got a new
I
monitor
can see
that
it,
takes
yeah.
up where my
That's good. Yeah, it leaves a nice little edge.
yes,
It
and
does.
as you're working,
Oh, and it's stretchy.
oh yeah,
Oh, good. Okay.
because you could just pull it very tightly and then it wouldn't be, and then you would get puckering.
Right. And I don't want that.
But if you're careful, and if you're nervous, you're probably going to be careful. You can very deliberately make sure the stitches are the same gauge, the same row gauge,
Right.
as
As
the
what
knitting
you're
that they're
going
going
in.
into.
Okay.
and
Okay.
then not only are they not, I mean, there's no puckering. There's still a certain amount of stretch in the front of the cardigan, so you don't get that sort of terrible
Well,
effect of where
Sometimes it is it's just a stiff piece and the rest of it looks
the body
Yeah.
grows as you wear it.
right,
but
and
the
everything,
center
and
doesn't,
that's
so it
stiff,
makes
yeah.
like a little
I
cap.
don't want that. Yeah, no, don't want to do that. Okay.
And that's the main reason I didn't do a sewn binds off or a sewn reinforcing stitch,
Mhm.
because it's not going to go anywhere.
No, the
Never
sewing
mind that
is
this
harder.
isn't worn. This I don't think fits anyone I know.
It's beautiful.
Isn't it
Wow.
pretty? Yeah, I
Uh,
love that one.
This is one of the first Phrancos I did, I think.
Oh
I don't
my
know if it
gosh.
was like her
Nice.
second or
Phrancos are-
third or something. It was an early one. Yeah.
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 I love the
Nice.
little design.
It was because I wanted to steek.
Yes, you were kind of the proof of concept for we can do a cardigan with
The,
a Phrancko. Mhm.
This is a swatch for it.
Oh, that's pretty.
And this is the first one I tried to steek.
Oh no!
Ron, you're mean.
Exactly what I'm thinking about.
Oh,
You know,
that,
I mean, it's
that
like
really built your confidence, didn't it,
Oh,
Cindy?
God.
14 or 15 skeins of yarn in the sweater too. It's like, I mean, I can just imagine it's this big poof of
Yeah, this is all that was salvageable.
After the steak.
No. No, with how careful you are about things and how lovely your knitting always is, I'm sure you will have absolutely no problems with it. And
I'll do it. I'll do it, and I'll have it done by next week. And that is good. I needed I
pressure.
needed an end date. I mean, it's going to be fall here before I know it. And she wants to wear it camping and stuff. And so it's like,
You just
yes,
need
I
a
need to
little
have-
loving bullying.
That's right. A little bit of loving encouragement.
Oh,
That's a lovely color too, Cindy.
Oh,
What are you going to
thank
make with that?
This is, I'm just doing some of my swatch stuff for the level 2. It's Cascade 220, just the regular non-superwash.
Oh, it's a pretty color though.
And did you by any chance submit that for approval since it's not off-white?
It's the one that I used before in level 1 for
And
the
they
extra color
approved
work.
that. Okay.
Yes, and so that was okay.
Yes.
It's a very, very pale.
Yeah, I see. And it would be approved, of course.
Yeah, no, that was
The
one
reason
that I
I
did.
asked that is because I also chose to do a light green that was actually a little darker than that.
Oh,
And when I
this one's
submitted my
really, really pale.
swatches, they wrote back and said, did you get this approved? We'll have to see if it's okay. And they had to have the committee look at it and then tell me, okay, we can see your stitches. We'll let it go. So after that, I only did off-white. I didn't want to risk it anymore.
No, I used this color and then I used, I don't have another one, but it's the very pale pink. It's the baby pink and then the off-white. And that was the ones that I used in level 1. And they all were said that, okay, these are perfectly fine. Your choices are perfectly fine. So it's like, yay.
And
Oh, so you
Rana
can only
in
use-
chat asks, is there a reason you're using non-superwash?
They want to do it. It's one suggested that you do non-superwash. What you're looking for is something that blocks really nicely and that stays. Sometimes the superwash will stretch out more and it just will be different. You can use non-superwash, you can use other yarns. What they don't show your stitches is, what I'm trying to do is get something that shows the stitches to the best of their ability, because I need all the help I can get.
And it's true, superwash may not block as well. And the blocking is very important for your swatches.
It really is.
So they're really
They've
looking
got
for definition.
They are.
Yeah,
They're looking for very.
and they don't want to
clear
see any
definition.
curled edges. You have to block
no.
all the edges spread out and flat. It's surprising how many people know that and don't realize that their selvage stitches are curled under. They submit those swatches and
still,
every edge is curled under, and they say it's not curled under when they're asked. And so it's like, no, you really have to see that you have to work to uncurl that edge when you block it.
Because that first stitch will always
turn
under.
to the
and
back.
So you kind of
That's
have to just even like, kind of have to baby it out and get it to go flat to get it to do so it dries that way. Yeah.
While I was putting my Steech cardigan away, that's where I threw this when I was done with it. I can show you my.
That was the one you wore when you came up to Seattle.
No, it's not. This is the one
Oh,
I
it's
just
not.
finished. This is the little grandpa sweater with the integrated shawl collar.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But the one that you wore had stripes like that, and it was a cardigan. But it didn't have the shawl collar.
Yes, it did not. Well,
I like it.
no, not really. So this is the one that I was working on last week. It's just sort of an oversized grandpa sweater kind of thing.
That one just looks so cozy, curl up by the fire.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is.
Now it will sit here until fall when I will make a pattern, or more likely a Phrancko recipe for the integrated collar, which was kind of an evening of figuring out. We were at home and Tim was like, do you want to watch Star Trek? We were watching Strange New Worlds. And I was just like, I can't tonight. I'm up to my elbows in knitting masks. And like when you work the garter stitch piece for the back of the neck, figuring out what side it needs to be on to be able to pick up the stitches correctly and not have like 2 purl ridges in a row or to knit in a row. That I was like making diagrams for myself and picking
And
up.
it's one of those, don't talk to me, I'm counting.
Yes, it's like that. But
Yeah.
don't talk to me. I'm 3-dimensional spatial visualizing.
Right. Oh, gosh.
How's your jumper going, Sumner?
Well, I am finally caught up with my counting.
Yay.
Oh, so much counting.
So you didn't burn it.
I didn't burn it. It came really, really close.
But see, it was recorded and we knew that you were thinking of that, so you can't burn it.
But I got to 268 stitches around.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot of stitches.
That is a lot
And-
of stitches.
Yeah. And so I have 2 more sets of increases before I can break off the sleeves. So I've knit a pair of socks while I was waiting
Wow,
Mm.
look at that.
because I needed a break from counting or someone was gonna get hurt. This particular sock is an old cat 40 pattern that I learned how to do on 2 circular needles. So it's that sock that I make when I just need to shut off my brain and just make a pair of socks.
I miss her videos.
Yeah. What a wonderful woman.
She
God
was.
rest her soul. Yep, she got me into socks in 2006, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yep. But that's still it's kind of a recipe, I guess. That whenever I want to make a pair of socks, I just pull out some needles, double
And do
points
that.
or double circs or something and just
Yeah.
make a
Mhm.
pair of socks.
Just do it.
I like her tomato heel. I think that's so cute.
It is. This is a traditional heel with the almost like the partridge heel.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm decreasing on the toe in 2 more rounds. And then I will have had a pair of socks, which is why I only am here on my sweater.
Yeah. I-
So how many stitches around is a sock? Is like the sock that you're doing?
72.
Okay.
But
So
it's
it's like
72
2
on one.
rows on 2 socks is the same as 1 row on the sweater.
That's right.
About the same.
Yeah. But I don't have to look at the socks when I'm knitting them. I can just
I
knit.
know, and you don't have to count and you don't have to be, it's like, don't talk to me. I can't hear it. I can't have any music on. I can't watch anything.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God.
I like couldn't even watch TV when I was counting. I'm like, I hate
Oh,
this.
no, I know. I know.
I'm using my iPad pencil
Mhm.
to flash mark to
To mark and
and I'm
do
like,
and
oh,
everything.
and
Yeah.
then I dropped it. I'm all the way up to 150 and I lost one. Oh my God, I'm gonna kill myself. Then I'd have to do it again. Wait till this one's done.
It'll be done soon.
Yeah, it will.
Maybe
I'll get
maybe
it.
by
I'll get
next
it.
week if you hurry.
Yeah.
I'll have the steak, you could have the sweater.
Yeah. And I have that Martin Story sweater I want to make. Now that's just a regular V-neck, so that's going to be just like 3 weeks, and I'll make that. But this thing, oh,
When I talked to Kathy on Thursday, she was talking about that she'd done a bunch on the programming for the saddle shoulder stuff. She figured out a bunch of that was
Okay.
coming really well. She was very happy with it.
I was going to knit that Argyle sock and then see if I want to actually intarsia the sock rather than carry it over. because
Mhm.
being a stranded knit,
Mhm.
it doesn't have a lot of give,
Doesn't have, yeah, as much
Right.
stretch, yeah.
but we'll see. I'm gonna sample it with Intarsia,
Mhm.
and then that I think is gonna make my decision. Because I also think the stranded, it's so thick,
Even on the thinner yarn there.
even
that
on
you're
the thinner
using.
yarn.
Mhm.
I might just, because I like Intarsia, I might just do it
Mhm.
anyway.
Yeah, you're kind of crazy like that you like Intarsia.
Yeah.
Here's Sumner. I
And
mean,
Ron's crazy that he likes steaking.
For the love of God, shut up. Oh, I love it. That's fabulous.
That's cute.
it's one of the postcards we gave out on local yard store day.
Oh, I love that.
That is funny.
My poor husband was trying to talk to me and I'm like, honey, I am so sorry, but it's gonna have to wait.
Meanwhile, the fire department's on their way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he'll look over sheepishly and he goes, are you counting?
I get that a lot too.
Yeah. Are you counting? Yeah. Oh,
If you talk to me, I just, if I am counting, I'll just say out loud whatever I'm thinking of that, of, 18, 19, 20. And he goes quiet, he knows. It's like, oh, don't interrupt you now.
that's funny.
I was counting stitches in something the other day while the radio was on, and some Prince song came on where he counts right at the beginning.
Oh,
And I was just like, okay, 111, 100.
Oh, no.
God.
I'm not alone. I tell you, I was literally feeling like mentally like challenged. Like I am a moron. Like why am I slow?
Well, you're using all the parts of your brain. It'll keep you young.
Yep.
It preserves our brain that we're using them.
Yeah, they actually say knitting is good.
It is, it's very good because you're
Alzheimer's.
doing the visual, you're doing the kinesthetic
Yes.
with your hands, you're doing the math.
Yep.
All that is very, very good.
Because we do use maths all the time. All the
Mhm.
time.
Yeah. And we swear that we hate math.
Well, we do, but
Yeah,
We
but
do.
we do it anyways.
we use it because we like
Yeah.
knitting.
Yeah.
And that Argyle pattern, Cindy, got me an excuse to buy a new pair of needles, like I needed an excuse. So the prims with the little teardrop ends,
I bought
Yes.
some of those after you
The white
talked about
ones.
them.
I got a
I
set
haven't-
in size
Oh,
2.
and twos. Oh, I've
Two.
got 6 and 7 that I tried, and I actually liked them. I was surprised.
Yeah,
Yeah,
On and Carlos uses them a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Who?
yeah, I had seen.
On and Carlos.
Oh, Arnie and
Arnie.
Carlos.
Yeah, Arnie and Carlos. They're always using them little white ones.
yeah. So that's what the Argyle socks are going on.
Yeah.
Well, they have a real long taper on them.
Yes.
They've got the little ball, but it's a long taper.
Mm,
They're not super sharp because of the ball on it,
Right.
but I was worried that it wouldn't work well, but it does pretty
It does,
good. for
yeah.
me. But I think it is because of the long taper. Because sometimes even when needles are sharp, if they have a short taper, it's kind of like there's not much for you to work on before you're actually on the barrel. And I find I have more trouble with getting even tension with ones that have a short taper.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't tried them yet because I keep thinking,
I like so like these socks I'm doing with Norwegian knitting
Mhm,
rather than flicking. So I'm doing it all like continental Norwegian style.
mhm, mhm.
And I can see why it's useful because you're kind of scooping up the yarn that way.
Mhm.
So it's
That would, yeah.
yeah,
That'd work good. Yeah.
and it saves my tip of my fingers from just getting chewed up.
Getting poked, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like I'm getting an emergency call from the theater lighting division. So I will see
Oh,
you
goodness.
next
All
week.
right. Good
Duty
luck,
calls.
Ron.
Bye,
You
Ron.
need
see you, Ron.
Take
Good
it
luck,
easy.
Ron.
Ronna said, Frank loved the smooth transition of colors in your sweater.
Oh, yes,
I
this
do
is
too. Isn't that pretty?
Oh, it is pretty.
this is a design I published a few quarters
I didn't
ago.
know that.
And I made it in two different colorways. So I don't think this is the one that got published, but it's
Oh, wow.
it's done with two strands of gradient yarn. And in order to make this sharp line across the chest and match the shoulders, I started at the top using obviously using one end of the yarn, worked down to where the shoulders split, and then I switched to the other end of the yarn. And I started all three sections, each sleeve and the body were from three different pairs of balls of yarn. So I could start at the same end on all three sections. So that's how I solved the problem of getting a cohesive design with gradient yarns.
Oh, that's so clever.
Hmm.
And were the three skeins designed for a sweater? So was there one larger one for the body and two smaller ones?
No. It was just regular gradient yarn that
Right.
changes color from one end all the way to the other, going through several different shades. And there were two different strands doing that, so they interacted differently. As you see, this darker color becomes more blue as it goes down, and the lighter color becomes a darker blue. And so that's just how they interacted as they went down.
Hmm.
And that one's published in Cast On too, isn't it?
That's right.
Design?
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
I had wanted to do, I love gradient yarns, and I wanted to do sweaters with gradient yarns, but if you just start knitting it, and the body is going to be gradient all the way down from the top to the bottom, and then you're going to start a sleeve and the color isn't going to match,
Right.
because it's at a random place in the middle of a ball. And then
Yeah.
you start the other sleeve and it's another color. And so the sleeves are going to be mismatched colors, and they are not going to match the yarn down the body,
So-
which has no break. So this was how I solved the problem, by switching ends of the yarn.
And so how did you solve the different width of the sleeve than the body?
What do you mean?
Did you just change yarns?
I started so I'm using two strands, right? So there's
Yeah.
two balls of yarn,
Mhm.
and I had 6 different balls of yarn, brand new balls, and
get it.
switched to the
Okay.
opposite end.
Now I get it.
2 of them were here, 2 of them were here, and 2 of them were across the bottom.
Oh, all right.
That's how you could keep the same.
So that's what kept them all the same, is that I started
Got
at
it.
the same end of
Yeah, because
6
that's,
different
you'd have
balls
a
of yarn.
different gradient on your sleeves because the radius.
That's right. Yes, and so you're right. The sleeves do change color at a different rate.
Yeah,
It's not that
Yeah.
noticeable.
right.
And-
No, but it's
and
good.
where it is noticeable, it matches.
Right, which is great. No, it's very nice. Yeah, I like it. You're
So
very
there are
talented,
some-
Mr. Frank.
There are some gradient designers that specifically plan for that. So you could buy different balls of wool and they change the rates, they change the color at a different rate. So the sleeves will match the body.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah, On and
Yeah.
Carlos makes their sock yarn. You have to pull it from the middle to get the colors to work the right way.
I did talk with a dyer who specializes in gradient yarns and came up with a plan. She was willing to match a color and make a solid ball that matched a color. So I could say, well, I'm going to knit the body so far, and then the sleeves will just be solid from that color on all the way down. And she was willing to do that for me, but I thought, well, that's not going to be a sellable pattern because she can't have everybody asking her to do that who wants to knit the sweater.
Right.
So it wasn't the solution I was looking for. Oh, I see we've gone a minute over our hour.
Yeah.
oh,
Wow, where did the time go? So
Move
I guess
away.
we will say goodbye.
All right.
Yep.
And
Hi, everyone.
bye, everyone.
Fun as always. See you next
Yeah,
week.
see you
with the
next
sleeves.
week.
very nice to spend time with you all again.
Cindy,
Thank you,
we want to
Frank.
see the sweater. Remind
Bye-bye.
us.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Rana.
Bye,
Bye,
Ron.
Ronna.